Too many things to record. Okay. Now we're starting.
It feels like Miami.
Miami, 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 Miami.
It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Heat Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, I think we're gonna make this might be like a nice Friday tradition. Just me and one other person of Heat Beat, just two of us. With me today is my good friend Alex Solana, producer extraordinaire.
I'm honored if that does become a tradition. I'm honored that it was kicked off with me.
It was actually kicked off last week with Frankie, but
right.
but you're the second. Thanks for listening, Alex.
All right, I'll take two. I'll take number two.
You'll take number two. So like, we didn't even have this planned or anything, but the Heat schedule came out today, and I'm just like, I kind of want to talk about it. There's some stuff in the schedule that I think's worth talking about. If you're cutting your lawn tomorrow, if you're doing some house chores, you want a little easy listening, you got us to stay informed and to keep you updated. Thank you to our YouTube audience. We are growing there, and we're really happy. I mean, that's one of the best decisions that we've made is to start uploading the pod. We've been going for 8 years, guys. This is going to be our 8th season covering the Heat, doing this podcast. It's funny because I was talking to people yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I still remember when the Heat signed Greg Oden. We just had shows where we called him Gregory for like the whole 40 minutes. And I was like, man, we've been doing the show so long that we were doing Greg Oden talk. So it's proud, happy to be doing this. So welcome to our YouTube audience. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple.
I miss Greg Oden talk, by the way. Like I'm down to revisit the Greg Oden era whenever you're down.
Well, I was thinking because there was something going around today. It's like, tweet a jersey, a jersey shop that's not actually a jersey shop. And I tweeted from the Heat Beat account the Duncan Robinson in the Lakers practice uniform. And I remembered, I was like, yeah, Greg Oden here was the thing. So was Amari Stoudemire.
Stoudemire was a part of a deep playoff run. And
that's your guy.
One game away. That is my guy. Stat, baby. One game away from the conference finals. Like that, Stoudemire was a starter on that team.
Was he on that team?
Yeah.
No, Amari was not on the 2016 team.
Amari Stoudemire was a starter on that team.
Did he get hurt? Because Justice played at the 5 in Toronto. In 2016, he was in Miami. Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he started on that 2016 team for sure. He was a starter.
What happened?
I think he would play like 7 minutes a game. Like he would come out in the first
14.7.
Yeah, he was a starter though.
What are the playoff numbers? I didn't think we'd start today with Amari Stoudemire talk, but we are looking through playoff per game. Okay, in 20, yep, he played. Let's see, minutes per 9.1.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amari Stoudemire. Thank you to the Blue Wire Network who makes all this possible. You guys are great, and we are happy to be a part of this growing family. So let's talk some schedule stuff because I think the Heat start off the fucking really hard. You got, New Orleans on Christmas, right? So they play on the 23rd. They open their season at Orlando, a tradition like no other. Orlando scares me. At least Elfrid Payton's not there. He's Goran's daddy. He's not there anymore. Vucevic always scares me. He just, for some reason, just destroys the Heat. So that's never an easy game, but whatever. New Orleans on Christmas, right? They have the noon game. I know that some people on Heat Twitter were insulted. Alex, I love the noon game. I'm in on the noon game.
Oh, no, sure.
Dude, I know that you're Jewish, but like for me, Christmas, we do Noche Buena and everything, and half my family's Italian, so we do, the Feast of the Seven Fishes from Southern Italy. We drink, we have a great time. Normally I'm seeing friends, right? So I'll do like the rounds after. We kind of go, have some drinks, have some fun. I'm a little hungover the next morning. I'm not an early riser on Christmas. So I wake up, maybe 10:30, 11. I'm trying to, hydrate. Maybe I'll have a little brunch. Maybe I'll have some, leftovers. Have some Christmas cookies, right? Nice and early in the morning with some coffee and some basketball. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans a fun matchup. I don't know why everybody's so pissed off that we're playing the Pelicans disrespected at noon. Like, bro, that's perfect. The game will be done by 2:33 at the latest. You have the rest of the day. You wake up, like you said, hungover, Noche Buena. You get Heat basketball against Zion Williamson. You're probably going to win that game too because the Pelicans are low-key garbo.
Yes. underrated part of that.
Yes, and you're gonna enjoy your Christmas because the Heat again, Christmas Kings are going to win, and it's all good. Like I saw Tobin kind of ripping the NBA for giving the Heat the noon game. I'm fine with it, man. Like I get it where the Eastern Conference champions should have probably given us a little more respect. Maybe the 6 p.m. game, sure, but
that I think that's the best one. I think or is it the 5:30, whatever. That afternoon game, that's the best one.
Yeah.
That's the best one.
But I'll take noon. Yeah.
I like noon. Listen, I'm in on noon. You get it out of the way. You have the rest of the day to see your family. That's the other thing. Like for me, I have divorced parents, right? So, and I have grandparents that I got to, I mean, this year's going to be a little different because of COVID, but like normally, like my Christmas day is pretty strained because I got to go to my grandmother. I got to see my father. I got to see my other grandmother. And they're all, you know what I mean? Like I can't, it's not like before I could sit down and just watch basketball all day. So like, if the Heat are in the middle of the day, that really throws a monkey wrench in my plans, right? So I gotta be in front of a TV at some point, and I want to watch at my house. Like, listen, it's fun to like, I don't like watching basketball with other people. I like being, I like sitting by myself. I want to look at my stats. I want to be on Twitter. I'm not very sociable, right? I just like leave me alone. And save on Christmas, except now I have snacks.
Well, that's what it is. Like we all want to be on Twitter. I can't do anything nowadays without being on Twitter. Like everything I do, I want it to just be me live tweeting it on Twitter or following other people live tweeting on Twitter. Heat basketball is no different, obviously. By the way, we won't be going to the stadium this year, so I know that's different. But a 12 p.m. start time, if we were allowed in the stadium, would be the best time for a Heat basketball game.
I wouldn't like it if I was going, though. That's different. I don't want to wake up that early.
I disagree.
I
think it's
we're
perfect.
in Kendall. We're in Kendall. We're a drive.
Yeah, but
we're like a 35, 40-minute drive.
Yeah, but it's fine. Like you go to the stadium, you leave your house at 11, you're there by 12. I miss half the first quarter, like always.
You're crazy.
As a classic
leave your
Heat
house
fan.
at 11.
Yeah, I'll miss the first.
You're the worst.
I'll miss
You're
tip.
the problem.
I'll miss tip for sure. No doubt about it. But I'll catch the end of the game. I'll be there in the fourth quarter when it matters. Giancarlo.
I'm leaving at 10:30 if that happens to me, which means I gotta wake up at 9:30 or like, you know what I mean, 10 at the latest.
I'm more insulted that the Heat aren't on national TV to start the season, and they gave, I think it's like the Bucks and the Celtics to start the season on TNT on the second night, the 24th.
Weird.
And we're in Orlando. Like, oh, we're the Eastern Conference damn champions. Like, throw some respect on our name. We should have been playing the Bucks to start the season.
We get the Bucks on the 28th and the 30th. So a back-to-back. I fucking hate that. That's like,
yeah.
You're like, that's a marquee matchup. Like, and not just, the team that knocked you out of the playoffs last year that kind of embarrassed the Bucks, but the Giannis storylines, the Giannis implications. I love the I love that they're, but like December 29th, December 30th. I mean, come on. Like, I know that they're both in Miami. So, at least that favors the Heat a little bit. But I mean, it's still like, you don't want that, right? You want that at full strength. And again, truncated schedule. You're just, I don't know. That somebody's totally getting rested on one of those nights. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy will probably sit, like they were Spo said today, they'll probably do some minutes restrictions on Jimmy. Like, that sucks, man.
Dude, we said this last podcast. I mean, those games that he played in the finals last year, those must count as like 4 games. I feel bad. The shit was like the other day.
I do love, wasn't it Jimmy that said there's no such thing as load management in Miami? Or was that UD? Whoever said that last year.
They're liars.
Yeah, they're liars, especially this year.
Dwayne invented load management.
Yeah.
Which, I think there's examples of that working, and I think Kawhi in Toronto is a good example of it working. And I think the Dwayne thing just didn't work. Dwayne was never even right, and I think that lack of rhythm really hurt the team. So like, I don't know how good that is, depending on the guy. But
Dwayne Wade could have been out of the league for 3 years, and his knee still would have been fucked up because of what happened at Marquette. Like that, like the guy shouldn't have. Right. Yeah. They
filleted the poor guy's damn meniscus, and it's hard to get anything else. I think that the road you had told me like a little bit pre-show, like they have like this ridiculous 7-game road trip, which I feel like, I don't know. I thought we were trying to limit travel, and I thought we were trying to make this travel like a lot easier for teams, and it just doesn't look like that was feasible. So like in February, they have this long ass road trip, right? Where you go to the Clippers, the Warriors, the Thunder, and the you know what I mean, like
Yeah, well,
game.
here's what it is. It starts February 11th at Houston, at Utah, at the Clippers, at Golden State, at Sacramento, at the Lakers, at the Thunder. It's I'm just reading here from Anthony Chang.
I think the Lakers is 4 games, 5 nights too, because they have a back-to-back. Golden State Sacramento is a back-to-back, and then they play the Lakers. I mean, that's just
Yeah, they play Clippers, Warriors, Kings, Lakers, 4 of those in 5 nights.
that Laker game's ABC too. That's an ABC game.
Yeah, it's the Heat Lakers finals rematch Saturday night, ABC prime time. It marks the Heat's longest road trip since a 7-game trip in 2009, which used to be the circus road trip. It's tied for the longest road trip in franchise history. Oh, just after a finals run in the NBA bubble in a COVID pandemic season. No big deal though, Giancarlo. No big deal.
No. The other, so at least they don't have that ridiculous road trip that ends with that back-to-back at Denver. I know that he put their foot down. We're done with that. I'm just glad. I don't think they play at Denver. They only play Denver and Miami, so they've gotten away with one there.
But that's what's been released thus far, right?
Yeah, that's right. The second half, but
yeah.
This still the second half of the schedule. I don't think they play Boston the first half, which is they play 2 Boston games, but I think every conference is 3 times, and then divisions 4 times, right? So I think they're eliminating all the 4 non-divisional opponents. I do like a lot of kind of like staying in one place and playing 2 games, like 2 against the Sixers in January, 2 against Detroit, 2 against Toronto, 2 against the Nets, and it kind of gives a little baseball feel.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I thought that's how the schedule was going to play out. Like, I really thought they'd be playing, I don't know, a 3-game series in Boston, where they'll play 2 games in 3 nights or something, 3 games in 4 nights against the Celtics. Like, that's when that report had come out earlier. That's what I thought it was going to be like. But that's not really the case. Like, they play Philly the 12th and then the 14th in Philadelphia in January. But that's kind of like the most series type of the schedule, like part of the schedule.
And like, I think some of it's gonna be actually kind of good for them. So like when they play the Raptors, they play in Tampa, which is still like really weird to see. But the travel's not too tough on them. And I think that for as young as this team is, there's a lot of veterans on this team. So as easy as the travel is, I think that's gonna be better.
You know what that means, right? UD minutes, baby. UD minutes at some point.
Okay.
UD minutes.
We're gonna get it at some point. I wonder if UD's gonna let them know, like, hey, like this is it for me. Like I'm like kind of give him some notice so that he could get a little regular season playing time.
You believe Spo when he says that he texted UD like, yeah, however long you want to keep playing. Like you think
100%. Yeah,
man.
I believe that.
But he means it. Like he texts UD that and he's happy. Like, oh, hey, UD, you play for the next 10 years, whatever.
I forgot who said it, but somebody was talking about the credibility that you lend when you have a jersey on as opposed to when you have a suit on. And when Juwan Howard takes off the jersey and puts a suit, he's suddenly different. He's not a player. He's management, right? And I forgot if it was Zach Lowe. I forgot somebody said that. And I actually really agree with that. And I think for as much as people like Nikias Duncan shit on the UD roster spot and everything and blah, blah, and they could use that in a COVID season, you never know. That 15th man on the bench. I get it. I get it. I totally, you don't want to lose a 2-way guy that you might like or blah, blah, blah. You could have kept, like, I get it. I totally get it. What that guy means, that guy's left a lot of money on the table for your franchise. That guy means a lot to your community, means a lot to your team. And I don't think the players are upset by it. And I think that having a guy like that in your locker room is important. And I think that the leadership shown, especially like in the bubble, in a lot of anecdotes about how important UD is. I'm sure Jimmy likes him a lot.
Well, I think most importantly, Jimmy and Bam are cool with him. I think that's most important, because if Jimmy and Bam were like all right, like if I guess if they didn't really fuck with UD that heavy, right? Like if there had been issues, I know. I'm like, that's why it doesn't matter. It's insignificant. This conversation's insignificant because everybody in that organization values Udonis Haslem. Everybody.
How could you not? And like, dude, that guy's been through every kind of playoff battle. That guy was there in 2006. Was there for all the big 3 years. Was there for every subsequent playoff run, right? Like that guy's seen so much shit, and I think especially if you're a contender and when the rubber hits the road, I mean, you saw him in the huddles. I don't know how much to read into that. I'm sure that the Heat would have figured it out anyway, but I don't want to be bodyline. But if that matters to them, that matters. It's not about what we think right here, as Coach Tony would say, us pseudo experts. I mean, if the people in there, if that matters to them, then that matters to them. And if they're saying we ride with this dude, then we ride with this dude.
Nikias. We see your tweets.
Nikias, listen. Nikias is like, you can do that. You can do that in a suit on the bench. And maybe you're right to an extent. But listen, as long as he's in the gym with them and he's happy, I'm happy. I want UD in my life for as long as he wants.
Yep. It does put it into perspective though. Yesterday, Mike Cunio of CBS 4, he tweeted, I was 13 when UD joined the Heat. And I was 8 years old. I was born in 1994. I was 8 years old when UD joined the Heat. Bro, I'm 26, man. Like that shit. I
don't know the Heat without him.
Right. Like it puts it into perspective. Like we genuinely don't know. We cried when Dwayne Wade retired. At least I did. Like I'll cry again when UD retires, only because it'll be like officially my childhood ending. Like officially my childhood.
I think people
end.
shit on the idea of like his jersey getting like hung up in the rafters.
Oh my God.
Nah, that's legit to us. Like we're like, people are like, no, y'all really gonna retire his jersey? I was like, you fucking bet your sweet ass we're retiring that jersey.
Fucking fight somebody if I hear a Heat fan at the AAA.
No, it's not Heat fans saying that. It's other fan bases that are like, y'all really like fuck with UD like that? I'm like, yeah.
There are like random douchebags at the AAA with just insane takes. I mean, he like
Nikias.
Nah, I wouldn't fight Nikias though. Nikias knows more about basketball.
I'd fight the shit out of Nikias. Nikias Duncan, I'd fight you.
I'm down. Who do you think would win that? Like, do you have yourself in that fight?
Oh, I would beat Nikias. I would beat Nikias. Nikias can't fight.
I think
Nikias can't fight. He's a lover, not a fighter.
So you're saying your
favorite? Not that I'm a fighter.
Right.
But I mean, Nikias plays music at church. I can beat up a dude that plays music at church.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? I think that disqualifies you. You're playing piano at your church. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we just kind of wanted to hop on to talk a little bit about the schedule. I mean, we're not going to go fake deep on you and say how any of this matters. It really doesn't. But, it came out. I thought some of the stuff was interesting here. I think that, December 23rd is around the corner. Their first two preseason games against New Orleans, against the Raptors, the 14th and the 18th. I believe that they requested fewer preseason games, which would make sense given that, because I saw people complaining about that. Man, fans will complain about anything. They'll complain about preseason games. It's like, why do you care? So they have that. I was kind of, I was asked for like my playoff seedings, Alex. Like, so kind of run this by you real quick, and I kind of want to get your opinion. So I'm gonna do 1 through 10 because of the play-in game. So I have the Bucks at 1, the Celtics at 2, the Heat at 3, Nets at 4, Raptors at 5, Sixers at 6, Pacers at 7, Wizards at 8, and then the 2 play-in spots at 9, Atlanta, and at 10, Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Atlanta's going to be better than a play-in
Washington?
spot. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be better than Washington.
I think Beal's good. I think Westbrook's still good.
Yeah, no, I think Washington will be fine. I just forgot.
They're gonna have 2 All-NBA players. Like, I want people to I see everyone shitting on Washington. I was like, listen, the Wizards have 2 All-NBA level players. Russell Westbrook made All-NBA 13 last year, and Bradley Beal was right at the cutting room floor. That guy's fucking good, and he's an All-NBA talent. And if they make the playoffs, and if Bradley Beal averages what he averaged last year and plays a little bit better defense, he's 100% making the All-NBA team. I mean, it's not even.
I just think like the Rockets were 2 years before Westbrook got there. They were 1 game away from the NBA Finals. They had already been in the playoffs. Most of that roster was there. And then the following year, they were in the playoffs. I know they were out quickly, but they were a playoff team already, and the Wizards are not. So just assuming that you drop in a Russell Westbrook and they'll be fine. Like, I don't know. Like, I think it'll take time for Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal to gel and to figure it out. That's not to say that they won't make the playoffs, but I think it's a different situation than just plopping in Russell Westbrook out for Chris Paul and swapping out Russell Westbrook and John Wall. Like, Bradley Beal hasn't played. But Bradley Beal hasn't played with John Wall in 2 years. So it's a totally different dynamic now going into a shortened season where they have never played with each other.
That's fair, but then you just can't turn around and say that the Hawks, who have all these new parts, are going to be fine.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
but it's easier to swap in a Gallinari who, for the most part, is going to play off Trae Young rather than Bradley Beal, who
Yeah,
now
they
has
have
to share the ball.
Bogdanovich,
Yeah.
who's an on-ball guy. They have, I mean,
It's fair.
I hear what you're saying, but like, they added, the Wizards had Robin Lopez, who's a really, really good player. He's a good fit, big guy, can help with their defense. Is gonna roll. Thomas Bryant's really good. They still have Bertans. They have guys on the team that are good, and they added an All NBA level point guard. And by the way, when Russell Westbrook's been in a proper spread pick and roll, that guy's unstoppable. I mean, look what he did with Houston when they went small. I mean, obviously Washington doesn't have that kind of firepower to really play that small with Russ. But I mean, they're gonna be able to surround Russ with 4 shooters at all times, and we very rarely get to see that. Even in his Oklahoma City days, I mean, he had Steven Adams, who was a non-shooter, Roberson, a lot of Thabo Cephalosha, right? Like, just dudes that you don't trust hitting open shots. And now, all of a sudden, he's going to have one of the best shooters in the league in Beal. Bertans is another elite, Duncan Robinson level spot-up shooter, right? Like, they're going to have that's going to be a fun fucking team to watch. That team's going to be a pain in someone's ass.
No, you're right. Honestly, when you put it that way, you're right. Like, Russell Westbrook was averaging 12 assists a game or whatever insane number it was with Thabo Cephalosha catching passes from him. You're right. Like, he's going to find open shooters. That team is probably going to be better. You sold me. You just sold me on the Wizards. I mean,
I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be 8 seed good, and they'll probably take a game off the Bucks. I don't know. I think it'll be fun. The East is weird. I don't really know what to say about the Nets. I mean, kind of everything that you said with all the new parts and training camp, it's really tough. Their defense is really shaky. I think Toronto is also a question mark because, it's not like they lost any of their 3 best players. They lost their 4th and 5th best player, right? But they replaced it with a guy like Aaron Baines, who's really good, and they're going to have internal improvements and all that. So it's really tough to look at a team like the Raptors. I think you can reasonably say that they're going to take, they're not going to be the second best team record-wise in the league because they had a better record than the Lakers. But, I think you can pencil them in a 4, 5, 6 spot. Sixers improved a lot and don't really know what to expect from them. Indiana's kind of also a team. It's like, well, that team's kind of a disaster. What's going to happen with them? And then you have kind of Atlanta and all their machinations. So we just wanted to kind of go through the schedule with y'all real quick, give you a little something, a little taster. We're going to be back with you next week to go through the wings, continue our season preview, go through the bigs. We want to get somebody on to talk about Precious more in depth that would know him better. We're working on it, guys. Okay, we're trying to get a good one for you guys. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at MIHeapy. You can also follow us on Instagram at the same handle. You can follow me at GNavas103 on Twitter. Alex, you want to give your Twitter handle for the people?
Yeah, at Alex M. Solana on Twitter and Instagram. By the way, Precious is just a cool ass dude. Like, I was able to talk to him on Hawk and Crowder, and like, genuinely, just like how Bam is just a cool guy. Like you'd want to chill with Bam and just hang out. Like Bam's Precious, just a cool dude, like down to earth. He gets it, man. Like, the Heat keep finding these guys, bro, and I love it. I love that the Heat bring in guys who are Heat culture guys. I know we use that a lot, but he's genuinely just like a cool dude.
And I think a lot of their young players have been like Josh was awesome.
Jay Rich, I love Jay Rich.
I want to be friends with that guy. That guy's so cool. I mean, we know how we feel about justice around here. Bam's obviously a great dude. Derek is a really, really cool dude, and it's really sad that he's not here anymore.
Yeah.
That guy's cool. That guy's really fun to be around, and Bam loves him. That locker room loved him.
Yeah. Just right? Like, they're all likable dudes.
Likable young guys. And it's funny because, like, I'm 28, right? Like, I feel old. I'm looking like, God, I'm like 7 years older. Alex, we said this last show. Tyler Hero is not older, is younger than Super Smash Bros. Melee for Nintendo GameCube.
Oh my God, man. That is crazy.
That's fucking wild,
bro.
Melee. I was playing Melee before we did this podcast, grinding my Roy unranked, and Tyler Hero's young. I've said that already, but that shit just blows my mind. It's just time flies.
It's crazy. Tyler Hero is the most popular Heat player right now. Like, that is crazy. Seriously, that is crazy.
They find these guys everywhere. Remember to subscribe to our Twitch feed, twitch.tv/MIAHeatbeat. We have lots of interesting stuff come for the season. Listen, you saw us during the playoffs. We were doing our post-game shows. We would upload afterward to YouTube, but they're fun live. We're doing our mailbags live, so you can ask us questions, and we'll respond to you right there. We're trying to make it as listener interactive as possible. And we have, listen, there's some, can't reveal to you yet, but we have some nice surprises lined up for the season and what we're doing with the post-game show. So you want to check that out. We're really, really excited for that. And also, I'm plugging so much shit. But listen, we here at Miami Heat Beat, we have a lot that we want to share with you guys. Join our Discord server. I have not done a great job of pushing this lately, but it's a lot of fun in there. We're really active. The season's kind of getting going. We're fun in there, and I really want to make that a place so that we can let you guys know what guests we're having on the show, so we can get you involved in what to ask the guests, right? So we had, when we had Solomon Hill on, we were kind of throwing that out to the Discord. Hey, what do you want us to ask Solomon Hill, right? Or when we have other Tony Fiorentino on, what do you want us to ask Coach Tony? What do you want us to ask George Sedano, right? Like all these guests that we're getting. And when we had Albert Namada on, cap expert, right? Like, what is there anything that you want to know about the cap that maybe you might not be able to find out? What do you want us to ask Albert? So get involved with our Discord server. We're going to give that link in the description of this podcast or this YouTube video, and get in on that. It's really fun. We talk all sorts of stuff. So I'm plugging lots of stuff. I'm rambling, but we really, really want you guys to enjoy everything that we have at Heatbeat, and we're so excited for this season. Alex, this is when you were supposed to say like a catchy sign off.
I don't have a catchy sign off.
You suck.
Later.